I'm Ron Sharp. I am running for Senate District 17 for the state of Oklahoma. A group of my students that I had several years ago wanted to get together and discuss some of the issues of which is of their mind. I taught for 38 years at Shawnee Public Schools, had lots of students, and we're here today of which to allow them, of which to ask me some questions. They said they wanted to, so here I am, of which to ask a whole series of questions of which they have.
Art Laundry, registered Democrat. I want to know what you think that we can do about the inflation that we're experiencing right now. The groceries, the fuel, everything, but groceries right now are ridiculous. You spend $200 right now and get the same set of bags you got for $40. What can we do about some of that? I mean, I know that we have changed the rules on taxes and that we're going to lose the state tax, but does that really help? And what do we plan on next to help with the inflation issue? Everything's too high.
Obviously, we need to continue to support conservatives for the offices that we have here in Oklahoma. We have 5 congressional districts. All 5 of them are controlled by conservative Republicans right now. We have 2 Oklahoma senators that are conservative, so we are contributing our part and we're up for a presidential election. This is going to be a major milestone because we could go one or two directions. I'm not necessarily agree with 100% of what the Republican nominee supports because he did not do very well with public education with his choice of DeVos as his Secretary of Education. She was a charter school supporter. Charter schools are many of them are for profit, so I have trouble there. But again, I do agree with about 80 to 90% of what he stands for, and I do not support the Democratic nominee for president. So that is one of the ways in which we can make a difference right now, because now when you start cutting things, it's kind of like going on a diet. Mm-hmm. It is not fun to go on a diet. It's nice when you're able to eat everything you want to and you feel, full each day. But when you start cutting federal spending, and that goes into the military, it goes into social services, it goes into everything. When you start raising the interest rate, that is one of the ways of which John Maynard Keynes said to control inflation is to increase the interest rate on loans. And that's what you're seeing right now. 7-8% again just for a home loan. You're talking 13 to 23% depending on your credit rating for your credit cards. And so individuals stop using their credit cards of which to pay for meals because they're using their credit cards as salary per month income. Major problem when you're doing that, when you're having individuals with $12,000 to $30,000 of personal debt. Then they try to go out and buy a home, they can't do it. Then they try to buy an automobile, they can't do it because they have too much personal debt. They're going out and spending that at Walmart and Kmart and Target. And as I said, they're going out and eating $40, $50 meals. That's all going to stop if you start trying to curtail the national debt. And so if the individual is elected president, who may do so from the Republican Party, you are going to see major cuts in federal spending, and that will control inflation. But again, as to what that's going to do to Tinkerfield, to federal funds coming into your public schools, we have become so dependent on federal funds that it's going to be a major crash diet that we go on.
I like the term they're using.
Do you feel like we should go on a federal diet? Because I really think that the federal government has overstepped in many, many ways right now. The one thing I'm fairly certain of is that I've been lied to forever by the federal government. Should we continue to put that much effort into feeling safe. Feeling safe.
We are in a very insecure military environment today. We have problems over in Europe with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We gave Ukraine, after the destruction of the Soviet Union, after they collapsed, internally collapsed, those about 11 of those countries that were a part of Russia became independent nations. One of them was Ukraine. Ukraine had thousands of atomic bombs, nuclear weapons. So not only did the United States, but the new country of Russia under Boris Yeltsin did not want all these little splinter countries that were part of the Soviet Union to have nuclear weapons. So we made an agreement with them in 1992 that if they would give up all their nuclear weapons, we would protect them along with Russia. Well, what happened? Russia invaded them. Had Ukraine not given up their nuclear weapons, Russia would have never invaded them. Okay, so we had this agreement. Do we live up to that agreement? We have not done so very well. I mean, we're giving them billions of dollars, but we did not do what we said we were going to do in 1992, and that's send in our military troops, of which to protect them. So this is just another major problem which the United States is in. Then, of course, you have the situation in Israel. On October 6th of 2023, you had the PLO, Hamas, Houthis, all of them began throwing thousands of missiles toward Israel. I, as a Christian, believe that the Jews are the chosen people. In the book of Revelation, it says, if you do not support Israel, God will personally punish you. So I support Israel, and I do not want them which to be destroyed by these terrorists. There's not a two-state solution, as many people think there is, because they just want a one-state solution, and that they want the elimination of Israel. Israel has agreed multiple times to a two-state agreement, and the PLO and the others, Hamas, have said no, because they want Israel. They want Israel out. There's a hatred there that goes back generations, and this is going to be a problem for the United States because we are supportive of Israel. We provide them military weapons, and again, this is a cost of billions of dollars. So it's this very turbulent world, and then we go down into Africa, which is the Islamic individuals that are moving into Africa now. Of course, those are tribal governments, so you have the tribal governments that are against the Islamic invasion into their part of the world down there. So it's going on worldwide.
Correct.
So the United States is the greatest military power in the world. There's no one to compete with us, but we have to keep the technology there. What is a concern of the many individuals is the idea of an attack upon our grid system, because here we are using all this technology, but what would happen if our grid system went down? We would be back in the 18th century. We'd be back riding horses. You could actually get 3 terrorists in airplanes over central, north and south United States, and you could wipe us out just by those atomic impulse bombs going off. We wouldn't even know for sure they went off. All we'd notice is 1 minute that we're having electricity in our home, and the next minute, and it would take some estimates 150 years for us to get back to our electrical grid of what we have right now. So it is a scary situation. We have to keep constant vigilance of our military. They're monitoring all the world governments. Each morning at 5:30, the president gets up and he's given a CIA, NSA, briefing as to how to address these problems. And I don't know anyone that would want to be president of the United States right now because of all the different hot spots in the world. We have to keep our military up. We have to support our servicemen and women. Freedom has never been free, and we are America. We're the greatest country in the world. Only because we have our military. We're the home of the brave. So that is why we're celebrating right now Memorial Weekend, and that is my major praise to God that He has given us a military to protect us in the United States of America. So I'd appreciate your vote on June 18th.